The bass guitar is the engine room of your song, and in this video I'm going to show you how I record my bass guitar using GarageBand here on the iPhone and my Steinberg UR12 audio interface. So let's dive in and let's go. Hi, my name is Pete. This is Studio Live today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And in this video, I'm going to be recording my bass guitar into GarageBand over here on the iPhone 6s Plus. I'm using my Steinberg UR12 interface, my favorite interface. You can't see it, it's out of shot there. We'll zoom in and I'll show you my setup in a moment. But what I wanted to do today is lay down the bass track for my new song, and I have all hooked up here. I'm ready to go. So let's zoom on in and dive in. I'm not going to go with the multiple cameras today, so I'm just going to swing my camera around. You know what I look like playing a bass. It looks like this. So just imagine that while we zoom in on the screen here, and I'll show you how we've set up our interface and our iPhone here in GarageBand to get this bass recording done. Okay, so if you've seen my other videos on this channel, this setup will be pretty familiar to you. What I have here is my Steinberg UR12 interface, audio interface. My bass guitar is plugged into the second input here, and I've got a pair of headphones in here. The line out of that is heading over to my PC that's recording the audio so that I can actually play back the audio as well as the voice that you're hearing right now. And I'm using a Lightning to USB adapter at the back here, Lightning to USB adapter and a USB cable to connect up my Steinberg UR12. I've got heaps of videos about how to connect up and record guitars, microphones, and other items into GarageBand, which I will link, of course, in the description and up above. So I'll just flip this around quickly and show you the back just so that you can see how everything is connected here. Okay, so here's the other end of our USB cable. That's into our USB 2 port here. The power source is flicked over here to 5-volt DC, and that is what this little baby here is doing. This is powering this whole interface. This interface can't be powered by the iPad or the iPhone, so it needs its separate power supply. So I can plug it straight in. You can use a USB hub. I like to use this battery pack just to keep everything nice and convenient and portable. But once again, if you wanted to learn how to use a USB hub or to connect up your USB Lightning adapter, I've got videos on all of that goodness down in the description. We've got our 48-volt phantom power on, which we don't actually need because we're not using a microphone, and that is it. So we'll turn that back around and set back up like so, and bring back our iPhone into view. So this is going to be my setup, and this is probably my setup for recording my bass, my guitars, probably my vocals, because I need to do this quickly. We're in the third day of a 5-day songwriting challenge here, so I need to get my bass laid down and recorded, and then my guitars, and then vocals, and then I'll be jumping in, adding some keyboards, some synth layers, some whatever else I need. Oh, and drums. We will need to do the drums at some point. Then we need to mix and master and release. So we can do that in 3 days. Who says we can't? Okay, let's dive in now. What I'll do is I'll clean up a little bit here. I'll dive in so that you can just see the iPhone here, and I'll show you how I set my settings in GarageBand to record my bass now that you've seen what the hardware setup looks like. Okay, so here we are in the iPhone GarageBand, and you can see here I've already had a little bit of practice time here to test everything. I'll delete that now by just tapping again, and tapping delete to get rid of that. And we'll go back to the start of the track. Now let's show you the settings we have in here. All we've done is added a new guitar amp track, which we have done by hitting add down here, add, and then gone guitar amp, and we've selected bass amp. And what I have done is I have changed my settings. Let's go up to the amp here, and I'm in the flip top amp. You can see here all I've really done so far is turn the output of the volume up a little bit, just so that I get a little bit more volume through to play along with. And we can adjust all these before. So the one thing that we didn't show before, but I have showed before, is the input volume level that we have on the Steinberg UR12. So we can kind of jump in here and check that out a little bit. Actually, no, we can't, because I was about to say we can check our input volume. We can't, because the input volume is coming through the Steinberg. That's why we don't have that input volume there. If we were using an analog interface that wasn't using the Lightning connector over here, then we would be able to see that. But we're not, so we can't. But it's all good because I have checked that all before, and we're not clipping, we're sounding good. So what we're going to do now, if we come back to our track, is we're going to replace this bass here. So let's just have a listen to what this bass sounds like. It's like this. So that's our Liverpool bass that we have there, and what we want to do is grab our real bass, and if we actually monitor it properly, we'll come back to our track. There we go. So we're going to do a... So hopefully it'll just sound a little bit better than that, the bass that's built in here to GarageBand. So let's now go ahead and hit record. We're going to go back to the start of the track here, and I'm going to hit record, and let's see if I can be a one-take wonder and record all of this in just one take. All right, let's hit record and give it... Actually, before we do that, I've just realized that I haven't got myself any count in at all here at the start. So I'm actually just going to come in here and add a section like that. We want it to be 2 bars. Now the reason I'm doing this is because the bass note starts on like the very first note of this song, we don't want it to cut anything off. So we want to be able to have a little bit of lead in here. What have I done? This is really difficult to do. I need to put this on a better stand to do this. Okay, a few small technical difficulties there. I'm starting to regret that I use my iPhone, not my iPad for this one. But what we're doing here is we're basically creating a new song section of a length of 2. And we actually want... Where did that go? Oh, it did this before. This was the error that I was getting. What is it going to do this time? It just froze up. This is fabulous. Hey, we're back. Okay, it took a while. It's struggling a bit. I have closed down all my other apps. I've taken all my own advice here. But what we want to do is let's put this section O right at the start here and give us 2 bars to lead in. Right, that was what we wanted to do. That should have been simple. We're going to now come down and record this bass guitar. So now I'm going to put my metronome on to make sure I'm in time. I've got to have... Actually, do I have drums? I think I have my drummer on here, don't I? Yeah, my drummer will give me my metronome. Let's not have the metronome. That's distracting. Let's use drummer. And I think we're about ready to go. So I'm going... Yeah, everything's good there. I'm just going to stick my headphones on and make sure we can hear. And then I'm plugged in. Okay, I'm going to tap on the track. So until we tap on that track and then tap monitor, we're not going to be able to hear anything. But now we're all good to go. So we're finally going to hit record and record this track. Let's go.
Jumping up, man, you don't want to show emotion. You're feeling numb and wonder why. There is no crying in baseball. It's something that you just gotta know. There is no crying in baseball. And if you're sad in baseball or in life, don't let it show. Now it's 10 years on and I'm feeling better. I survived all the worst you could give.
Okay, there we go. That is one take, and I wasn't unhappy with that. Let's play back a little bit here and make sure that everything is sounding good. Now, you'll notice here that the volume levels are very low on the bass here. I did even have the input up higher than I usually do. That is just kind of the way it goes with bass guitar. If your bass guitar ends up looking something like my lead vocals do there, then it's probably not going to sound very good. We can use a little normalizing trick using the merge function if we do want to make this waveform a little bit higher, but I don't actually mind as it is at the moment because if it's all one take, then we don't need to edit much and it'll be okay. Anyway, let's just go in and have a little bit of a listen to this. I'm going to mute out my old bass here. Like so. Like so. Man, this is a bad setup. Must rethink this setup. Need a better stand. And we've got our regular bass in here now. We'll just have to play with the volume a little bit, but let's play back and just hear how this sounds with our newly recorded bass. Okay, not sounding too bad there at the start. Let's just go into some other random parts down here further, where we've got our guitar in as well, and see what it's sounding like here.
There is no crying in baseball. It's something that you just gotta know. There is no crying in baseball.
Yep, not too bad. And what about our bit down here? Now, my fingers are actually really hurting because I don't play a lot of bass, and that sort of 4-note part all on the one low E string, yeah, it really got my fingers a bit sore. But anyway, let's see what it sounded like.
I survived all the worst you could give. How is your life now? I hear that you are struggling.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And I think once we get some guitars in there, sort of a few sort of muted guitars doing that same sort of thing over the top, it's going to sort of really fill out and build up and crescendo into that final chorusy part. So there you go. That's pretty good. I'm going to go with it. Like I said, this is a 5-day challenge, so multiple takes are not going to be something that we're going to be doing a whole lot of here. So that is my one take. There may be a little bit of tweaking in the EQ, in the settings, in the amp here that we need to do as we go along. But there you go. That is my bass done for now. And there you go. We are done. We have our bass track laid down, and now we need to continue on with this track. We need to get some guitars. We need to get some drums. We need to do some mixing and some mastering, and we don't have a whole lot of time. So thank you for watching this video. If you would like to provide any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave those down below, and I hope to see you on the next video. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just slapping a bass. If you would like to check out some other videos in this series, you can check the links down below. You can go over there to subscribe by clicking on the icon, and of course you can head to studiolivetoday.com for more audio goodness.